Hello, I'm Miss Mercer, Decatur Township District Reading Specialist, and I'm here to teach your Sunday Reading Level 21, Day 1 lesson for today. You're going to have your student read each sound aloud that they see on the following slides. You want them to do this rapidly, and please remember to prompt them for the short and the long sound of all the vowels. If your child makes an error, then you would say, this is the letter T, which says T as in turtle. You would show the keyword slide. Then you would go back and show the T and have them trace it 3 times. T, t, t. They do not need to say the word on the keyword slide. That is there for error corrections. I'm going to go rapidly through these. You may pause the video at any time to give yourself extra time to complete the task. Short and the long sound. 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 Okay, now we're to the spell sound section of the lesson. I'm going to give a sound and then you're going to write the letter that makes that sound in this portion of your student notebook. Okay, the spell sound section. If the learner makes an error, you're going to prompt them for the error correction. So say you wanted, okay, I see, I wanted, what 2 letters make the bl sound? And hopefully they would say B-L. Okay, if you don't have B-L, cross it out and write B-L for bl. Now write it 2 more times for extra practice. Okay, so that's how you would do an error correction. The first sound, I will say it, you repeat, and then you repeat and write. The first sound is eh. Second sound is or. Third sound is sh. Fourth sound is cr. Next sound is tr. Next sound is y. Y. Then all and l. Now, if you have some lines down below or down here at the bottom, I'm going to ask a question and see. I want you to write your answer down there. So how do you spell long I at the end of a word? If you hear the long I sound at the end of a word, how do we most likely spell it? Your answer should have been Y. Okay, make sure you write that down. Okay, now we're going to read words. We're on the read words section of the lesson. So I want you to take your finger underneath each word and read it. Okay, you can sound it out. If the student makes an error, you're going to say, let's trace. They're going to look at the word, trace each letter while saying each sound, and then blending the whole word afterwards. So let's pretend that they missed 4. They should look at 4 and go 4, 4, 3 times as the error correction. Pause the video now. Give yourself time to drag your finger underneath, sound it out, and then say the whole word. Okay, we're going to review touch spelling. If you're right-handed, remember you'll start with your pinky and tap each sound. If you're left-handed, you'll start with your thumb and tap each sound. Okay, this is in the spell word section right here. Okay, I'm going to say a word. You'll repeat it. You will touch spell it, and then you will write it. Okay? So you're probably going to need to pause after each word to give yourself time to write. Chat. Ball. No. What. Drill. Bleed. From. Short. Dish. And if you need to, kind of use both sides of the lines if you have room. Horn. Chess. Stall. We. Was. This is a sight word. I did not point out that there was a sight word before. Trap. Clap. Form. Click. And sort. Give yourself a minute to get all the words written. Now we're going to check them. We're going to check them a little differently. Instead of having a slide per word, I'm just going to show one slide that has all the words on it. So going down the column, check and see if you have these words written correctly. Okay, if you have an error, cross it out and write it 3 times correctly. Now take a moment and read the words that you have written after you've done any corrections out loud. Okay. Now we're on to the spell words, phrases, and sentences section. I am going to read a sentence or a phrase to you, and you're going to write it right there. So you're going to repeat the sentence, and then you're going to tap out the sentence, one word per finger, okay? And then you're going to write the sentence. So listen carefully. First sentence. Pat is so small. Repeat, tap, then tap and write. Pause the video to give yourself time to write. Next sentence. Tom is tall and I am short. When you've given yourself enough time to completely write the sentence, I want you to check using the acronym CAPS. Check for C, capitalization. A, accuracy. Do you have the right number of words in your sentence? P, punctuation. Do you have the correct ending marks? And S, spelling. Are your words all spelled correctly? Make sure you check for all of these. And now, instead of showing a different slide, we're going to look at this differently here. Check. These are how your sentences should be written. If you made an error, cross it out, don't erase, and then write it correctly above or below the word or mark that you need to change. Now take a moment, if your words or your sentences are correct, and read this back to someone at home. Okay. All right, so now we're into a new sight word. So our new learning today is a sight word, and sight words are different because they don't sound out correctly. So when you do this, when a child traces, they will say the name of the letter instead of the sound because they don't sound out. That's why we call them red words. So we're going to do the first one. Your. Can you say your? Okay. And for this one, we are going to say the letters, the name of the letter while we trace. So I want you to trace Y-O-U-R, your, 3 times. Y-O-U-R, your. Y-O-U-R, your. Okay, and we say the names of the letters because these have to be memorized because they do not follow the rules. Now I want you to write that 3 times in the new material section. You might have to use some of these bigger lines, but so write it 3 times. Y-O-U-R, your. Next sight word is said. Can you say said? Said. And then you're going to trace it, but you're going to say the names of the letters while looking at the word on your screen. S-A-I-D, said. S-A-I-D, said. S-A-I-D, said. Make sure they get the visual of looking and the tactile of tracing and then the auditory of hearing themselves say it. This will help it get into the long-term memory. Okay, now I want you to write said 3 times in the new material section while saying the letters. You will probably need to pause. Now we're going to next new sight word, were. Can you say were? Okay, now you're going to trace this saying the letters while looking at the card. W-E-R-E, were. W-E-R-E, were. W-E-R-E, were. And then write this word 3 times. Okay, now we're going to practice reading some sight words that we've already learned. So let's take a moment, pause the video, and go through and read these from top to bottom. You don't need to sound these out, just read the words. Okay. All right, and now we're going to try, if you have room here, and you may not because of spelling the words 3 times each, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some words. If you have room over here or anywhere on your paper, go ahead and let's practice spelling these sight words, okay? There are only going to be 6, and remember, you're just going to have to say the letters that the words make up because these words do not sound out correctly. So the first one is one that we just learned, your. Repeat, then write. You can touch spell, but you have to say the names of the letters, not the sounds. Said. Were. To. The. And from. Okay. If you didn't have room, that's fine. We're just going to practice. We're going to check over the words that you wrote if you had room. If not, we're just going to look at them and I want you to read the words back. Okay? So read these words back to someone in your house. Okay? Now we're to the final part of our lesson, the read aloud section. I want you to take a moment, pause the video, and read each sentence in this section. That is the end of your Sunday lesson for today. Thank you, and have a great day.